So if I go to a technology expo or a marketing expo, I'll know I'll meet a ton of people who are just irrelevant. But if I meet, even if they have a lot of people, but if I go to an event that's like, hey, this is the, head of PR conference, right? We invite a bunch of head of PRs from all these companies, then I would pay extra. I would know this is the place I want to go. Now, sometimes what happens is you go to these places and everyone you meet are also people who want to sell to this head of PRs. And then it's like, oh, like everyone I meet is like trying to sell a product and it's basically competing with me. So then again, dilutes that experience again. But the idea is that having less people is fine if people have the perception that each member in the community is more relevant than the average person out there.
Do you think that the waiting lists for closed betas can, if it's done properly, can work the same way?
Yeah. So then that specifically is more of a CD6, right? In terms of, it's exclusive. Yeah, it's very exclusive. And this is where, companies that have that scarcity are very successful, like in their launch, like a Clubhouse, right? Even Gmail back in the day. And I talk about back to the scarcity quarter of like, if you tell people, hey, go tell your friends, tell all your friends, do it for everyone. People are like, hey, why should I tell all my friends? I know it's good for you. How it's good for me? Are you going to pay me to do it or whatnot? But if you say, hey, you only can invite 3 friends because we're so cool and so exclusive. Now people are like on Facebook, hey, who's my 3 buddies who wants my super exclusive like invites, right? So they start doing marketing for you and they make it sound like it's a favor to invite their friends. So that scarcity is useful. Now, scarcity is just the mechanic. Why there's scarcity is important, and that goes into the meaning part. I forgot what companies. There are some companies who try to do the same thing but kind of screwed up because they didn't give a good reason and justification on why they have the scarcity. And so people are just upset. Like you arbitrarily like have less people come in, just so to create like buzz and demand, and they get really really upset. So sometimes the companies say, oh yeah, well,
right.
Yeah.
Superhuman did that. I mean, I don't know how it panned out, but Superhuman did that with like founders.
Okay, yeah. So people do get upset now. Superhuman, as for last time I checked, they're still doing very very well. But all these come together, right? People get upset, so you have to usually have, there are technical reasons like, oh, we don't want that many people because we want to test our servers, make sure, it can go well, or we just want to, we want to make sure that it's perfect before we serve out to the public. These are all like technical reasons that are okay, as opposed to we just want to, create this arbitrary scarcity. But then there's, more things like, hey, we want to make sure the early community are the perfect people who, exhibit our values or whatnot, which is, we can build in that CD1, like what makes people qualify to be part of an early community member. So I think that could play out well too.
Is that idea of, which is often, that you just, the technology needs to be developed, needs to be tested, so we want to, this is a work in progress. We want you to be part of it, but we can only take so many at a time. Does that help build, everything from CD1 to, getting them to feel that being on the waiting list is sort of helping out because it can only take so much?
Hey, we have technical limitations that we want to make sure it's good before we release to more people. That's not much of a CD1 reason. I'd say that's even a CD8 reason. It's more like, hey, we want to make sure when we actually release, it doesn't crash our servers. So we're going to do this, right? That's a CD8. Like we're going to prevent disaster. That's what we do it, which is it's okay. It's practical. People should feel
if it's tied
okay
to
about
CD1 and you sort of use like a rightful heritage type, game technique where, okay, this is where we all want to reach, right? And that's the, that's the CD1, right? So, but to get there, we're not there yet, right?
Yeah, like for instance, for Meta Blocks, again, Jin Loaiza, the CEO, is managing most of that. So I'm, as you know, I'm pretty strict a lot of things, but he's very competent. So we're not doing a lot of the scarcity. Like you only can invite. We do a little bit of that anyhow. But one thing is that Epic Media and Calling about, hey, this is about preserving humanity's most important memories. And whenever there's an NFT project, it's also a commercial project, right? It's like you're selling these virtual items that most people can, like, before 5 years ago, was considered like it's kind of silly, and what is that worth anything? But we really play big on the meaning part, and we don't talk much about, oh, look, everyone can get rich, you get to the moon, and that could, I think that is a possibility, but that's not what we play on. Everything we communicate is about, it's important to have to upload these memories, to have these important memories in the blockchain. And we look at the Discord, and very people are saying, yeah, I can't wait to upload my memories, like, to there, to have it live forever on the blockchain and all that stuff. And so that CD1 that we can communicate is that, hey, we don't want the whales to come in. We don't want the people who are just playing the monopoly game, trying to make a quick buck, to come in the system. We want our early community to be people who have that pure motive of our mission, right? That actually want to stick to this for the long haul. They want to curate the memories. They want to make sure the best memories are living on the blockchain, and our grandchildren can see it. So that's the CD1 reason to say, hey, the early community, that's what we don't want everyone to come in immediately, because then we're going to have these people who are just driven by extrinsic motivations and try to make money from and flipping it. We want to make sure early community is all about people who are aligned with our values. So that's a potential angle of a CD1 for early community.